Warning: this stream is rated for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Enigma Blockbuster Cinema Theater. My name is Scotty, and not too many people in here, but let's get some fire going. Let's get some music going. Is that coming through? Oh no, we gotta do that. Okay. Let's see here. Let's take that down a bit. There we go. Okay, I think that's good. Well, it is officially December of 2021. A lot of stuff going on in the world, and hold on, it's still a bit too loud here, I think. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Nice and quiet in the back. Okay. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on in the world. There's always a lot of stuff going on in the world, it seems. It never ends. Always something happening somewhere. Always some new news, some old news. Plenty of things that we've heard before. And hello, my good friend. How are you doing? Having oh, a nice relaxing stream, and just chilling and talking. But yeah, a lot of different stuff going on in the world, and not a lot of it seems good. I don't know. I'm no expert on this stuff, but I try to stay away from it all anymore. I didn't used to. I'm good. Not too bad. Work was a little irritating today. Just not real easy to make money. At least not what I've been doing so far or recently with Uber. So I'm gonna definitely try to get out of it. I think in the next couple of months and just have it as a side thing. But not too bad overall today. Uh, the weather was pretty decent up here, and it did start raining closer to the end. Like I quit around a little after 5, and I've been stopping earlier working because it gets dark so early these days, and I'd rather work in the day. And there's other all sorts of different concerns coming in, safety issues and things like that. But yeah, overall it wasn't too bad today. Made a somewhat decent amount of money, and not too many people were pissing me off. Mostly, even nowadays, the passengers, for the most part, are not too much of a problem. It's mostly Uber and the other drivers on the road. So, yeah, it is what it is. But we'll see. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. I went. One of the passengers I picked up was in one of the industrial areas up here. One of those long business road stretches that it's literally nothing but several miles of industry and businesses, and certainly not any residential area. But you go down there and there's literally you know 10, 20, 50 different businesses lining both sides of the roads, heavy truck traffic and things like that. And I kept seeing tons and tons of signs for warehouse workers needed. And I don't know what that really says about the economy specifically, but I wish I could do it. I did warehouse years and years ago, but I don't think I could physically handle it right now. I think I'm going to be looking at seeing if there's any sit down manufacturing jobs come the first of the year. I think I'm going to look into that and see what's available, because I know a lot of those temp agencies, they keep tabs on what's available in manufacturing and stuff like that. So we'll see. But maybe at some point in the not too distant future, I'll be in much better physical shape and I could do something like warehouse again. That's more physically demanding, being on your feet all day, walking 10, 15, 20 miles on concrete and stuff like that. So potential, it has potential. So how are you, my friend? How was your day? How was your week? How is your existence going at this point in human history? Are we are we keeping up with it? Are you getting overwhelmed? How was the weather down there? Yeah. Did you have to keep play catch up because of the holiday? Like having to work harder this week to catch up because you weren't in quite as much last week. Decent spirits, yeah. Isn't that always the way with businesses nowadays, man? Uh, yeah, cleaning it up. Yeah. The I faced the exact same thing, and I'll give you a perfect example. I went to pick up somebody today, and it gives me the address, which most of the time that's exactly what it is, but every once in a while. See, Uber does this thing where somebody requests a trip. If they're not in a location that is like clear, for lack of a better term, it finds the closest address or intersection. So, like, this guy was standing in front of an automotive shop because he had just dropped his car off for repairs, and he requested the trip, and it assigned it to the address next to where he actually was, because the address next to it was in front of the building where he was actually at. But he was not there. He was in the driveway. He was literally 40 feet away from me when I pulled up, but I couldn't see him. And I'm sitting there waiting, and I've got a timer that's, as soon as I get there, it starts counting down so that I get paid for wait time and all that other stuff. And he calls me, and he's like, a very thick accent, and he's walking past in front of me like 40 feet away, and I'm like, "Is this you? Look to your left," and I'm waving, and just like, and I showed him on the thing, and most people that are passengers where I have this problem with it, they don't realize that Uber does not pinpoint your exact location on the map for me to find you. Well, that's just one of the 10 million things that's wrong with Uber, but whatever. But yeah, a lot of miscommunication. And usually it's because the people above us aren't doing their job properly. I find that to be exceedingly clear in almost all businesses these days. But good to have you, as always. I honestly don't know what I would do without you, Doom. You are one of the backbones of this community, definitely. And I'm not a big community person. Like, this thing that streamers tend to go through with the, they get on to Twitch or, streaming from their Xbox or whatever, PlayStation. And they go and start to get a following, because people like the games that they play or whatever. I mean, there's only so many games out there. Out of the millions of people probably that are on Twitch at any given time, you're bound to find people that like you, and they find you in search results or whatever. One of my followers, what's his name, Mr. Flow Classic. He found me because he was searching through talk shows and podcasts on the Twitch main page and saw me doing public domain movie night, and he liked that. He wanted to, check it out. That sort of thing. You're bound to find people. But then it gets a little bit further, and they go, okay, well, I could do a Discord with my friends and the people that follow me online, and I follow them and all this. Well, maybe we'll put a community Discord together or something like that. And then they're trying to build the community bigger, and there was a streamer I knew. Well, I still know her, but she.
You're a jackass.
I am. Welcome, Cage. How you doing? There was a streamer that I know. There is a streamer that I know. Let's get the proper graham crackers here. And hello, Salamu. Welcome. She was trying to follow that, where, she was streaming and trying to, build herself up into a bigger streamer, and all this other stuff. She started the Discord and ended up that there was just way too many things that she was trying to make happen to build a community on Twitch/Discord, and she ended up shutting it down. And she doesn't even stream anymore most of the time. She just occasionally will do it, for herself maybe. But it's like, I think a lot of the streamers, they think they have to do eventually or after a while community building here. I couldn't care less about that aspect of it. A few of you know I have my own Discord, and that's never going to be a community of anybody. Now, I will mention that there will be a new Discord So I'm actually going to be involved in three, I guess. I mean, obviously, you guys see me on the CR Game Room and the Normcore and Gaming Avengers and Isnibs and that. But the main three that I'm going to be involved with is the new one that Isnib is putting together, along with several of our other streamer friends here, including Mr. Sleight of Game and Mr. Legion Cage. And I believe I'm not gonna. Yeah, well, yeah, I'll save that for later. But hello, Slight. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So there's going to be that one. There's going to be my private Discord, which a few of you are in because of the purposes of whatever I'm doing on my stream, which is mostly just when I'm having people on for the podcast or some other things that we're going to be doing with that maybe later into 2022. But the third one I'm going to be officially announcing on December 19th, and that is a transference of Operation Mankind. I don't know, some of you may have been here way back in the beginning when Joel and I did a charity stream in honor of my cousin Brian, who committed suicide back in 2018. He started something called Operation Mankind on Facebook. And the whole concept is just, random acts of kindness. Be kind to people and, spread that kindness throughout the world in whatever way you can, whatever way you feel is necessary or needed or desired. And Facebook has been a complete and total butthead about it. My cousin Brian was the sole administrator. He made somebody else an administrator. He had two things, a group and a page. Like a fan page or something like that. Thank you for the host slate. Thank you. And welcome, Joho. Thank you for joining us. How you doing? I don't have any answers for your question marks, though. But in any case, Brian was the sole administrator of the group. And apparently, after much research, the only way that you are allowed to take over as, say, the administrator for a group where the sole administrator passed away is you have to go petition Facebook. Well, I sent them like 5 or 6 messages on there, and they never answered a single damn one of them. So nobody has control of the Operation Mankind group on Facebook. I am the administrator on the page, but I don't have full control either. And nobody does, because again, he was the one that started it. So there's me and a couple other administrators on there, including Joel. But yeah, so Facebook really pissed me off with that, and I haven't been on Facebook now, aside from that portion of it, for I don't know, at least a good 6 months. And so I made the executive decision that we're going to just transfer all of that over to a new Discord channel. Server, whatever. So that'll be the third one, and that'll officially be open, and I'll officially announce it on December 19th. And all that is, again, that's not really going to be a community either. It's more going to be like informational and inspirational. So I don't know. We'll see. But the point of all that was that I'm not a community builder by any means. I may be a part of this community for sure, but the extent to which I'm involved is limited by certain things that I just don't want to do anymore. I don't know. It is good to see my face. I mean, I had lost it for a while. it decided to come back, kind of like a one of those prodigal sons, and the face came back. Very true, very true. I agree with that. That you don't build a community; the community builds itself. However, like to facilitate the building of the community. I mean, that's really what I'm talking about. Like, putting the things in place. The CR Game Room Discord community, made up of not only the people that are actually on Discord and Twitch, but like all of the people that are connected to you guys with your social media and stuff like that, or one versus the other. Somebody's on Twitch but they're not on Discord. The lurk community, all that stuff. That was done because you guys built a brand around being yourselves and providing content. And I mean, having five guys coming together to produce content on a daily basis almost, and then have that have that active community on Discord. That's when it kind of builds itself. You give the community the tools to build itself, like you said. The initial goal with the game room was to build a gaming community where people could hang and play games and share their love of games. So in that aspect, yeah. And you succeeded. I mean, how many people follow the game room? And that, I mean, obviously it's not Twitch partner yet, but you guys do very well with your style and your format and functionality and all that, and that's your community. But like this new Discord that Isnib is just about finished putting together, and we're getting ready to launch here pretty soon. There's a few things that I'm going to be involved with because I volunteered, because they're things that I want to do or want to spend my time doing and further within the community. So I guess you could say, like, maybe I am producing or facilitating one very small part of it, the parts that I am comfortable with doing. So, but that's it. I mean, I'm not gonna recruit. I'm not going to put out big things that are designed to draw more people in over time or anything like that. 90% of what I do on my channel is for my own edification, and anybody that can wants to come along for the ride, you're more than welcome. But I'm here because I'm having a blast. I'm having fun. That so sounds kind of selfish, and in a way it is. I mean, I'm here because this is what I want to do with my free time. And there's plenty of other things that I want to do with my free time as well. But I mean, to me, this sort of thing where I set up a show for you, I've been doing kind of whatchamacallit, not only event organization. I mean, I own my own DJ business for 15 years, and I also would do event coordination. But like to make this analogy very simple, I am Scooter from the Muppets, and that's actually, I got that nickname several years ago, at least within my family and friends, because that's what I want to do. I'm the guy making the show happen, however that has to be. And in the meantime, if it's not perfect, I'm fine. I'm just having fun. So the positive note of the Discord collab you are doing is that the community already existed. Yes, that's true, from a degree. Seeing it here is, yeah. Or yeah, well, the way Isnib describes it is he is essentially trying to create a platform with the help of everybody else that's involved that is a comprehensive streamer platform, or a place in which many people can come together for the same kind of purposes. And like, for instance, whereas like the CR game room, where you guys are heavily involved with like Magic the Gathering and Dice Masters, and those sorts of things, the D&D aspects, that's only a small part of what the new server is supposed to handle. Like, there's a section for everything, and they're still trying to keep a part down as much as possible. But that's the real word, is comprehensive. Is they're trying to make it as accessible as possible for as many different people and as many different interests as possible. So, good evening, Mr. Coptimus Crime. I am very well. I am glad you are here, and I really appreciate you, and thank you for stopping by. How are you? It's very good to see you. And all of you, everybody that's come in so far, thank you very much. I really appreciate you. Let's see here. Yeah, we got a lot of people here. Let's think about the good times. Pokemon. Poke your mom. Poke my mom. Yeah. The Pokemon confounds me, man. I've known of it ever since the one cartoon with Ash and Misty and Team Rocket. But when did that come out? Early 90s? And I don't even know who produced it. But like, my brother would watch that. And yeah, I thought it was kind of funny, because they build a lot of comedy into a show like that, being a cartoon for kids. But I never followed any of the actual games, or the cards, or who is what the latest batch of Pokemon are, and what they can do, and how to fight, and all that stuff. So like, anytime you guys are playing Pokemon, I'm just watching. I'm like, okay, so that guy attacks that guy, and then yeah, oh, okay, yeah. All right, I'll be good. Just sitting here watching. I'm fine. Excuse me. I don't think you will ever catch me playing Pokemon ever. Ever. Okay. 3-day tangent about holiday commercialism. Yeah. If you haven't gotten this yet, a lot of what I do revolves around psychology. I'm a people watcher. I watch people. I try to figure them out. I'm very observant, as Slight has observed. I get to know people, and it's almost like a defense mechanism to a degree, to make sure that the people that I allow myself to interact with are not going to harm me. And the one thing that, like, for instance, if we're talking about holiday commercialism, I'm more interested in the subtitle. What do we allow businesses and corporations to tell us about the holidays? So the psychology behind that is, how effective is the commercialism that's being thrown at everybody? And is it that effective because we allow it to be? Because we allow society to tell us this is what a holiday is, this is what it's about? Or do we come up with our own brand, our own definition for that? So, I don't know. If you guys don't want to talk about that, that's fine. We can just shoot the shit and, you know, enjoy the fire. I found this video on YouTube, the background video with the fire and all that, and what I was going to attempt to do is anytime we do a fireside chat like this, it's going to be like a theme based on the time of the year. Like, obviously, see, unlike some people that want to start pushing Christmas, not even just the commercialism aspect of but people that are like, hey, Christmas in July, and Christmas in September, and Christmas in every nook and cranny of the year, and we're not gonna have a single moment without Christmas. Yeah, no. Christmas time is 1 month. 1 month only. And that's all it will ever be. And that is from the day after Thanksgiving until Christmas Day. And that's it. Nothing more. Yeah. Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I can understand, like, some people really love Christmas and the feel of it, the gift giving, the lights. Yeah. Well, I could see maybe leaving it up until New Year's. Try to underline the family and values and togetherness of the holiday season. Yeah. I mean, it's what you make of it. Hello, Mr. Antonio. Welcome. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Bonjour. Ça va? It's good to see you. And I mean, yeah, Christmas in general. A lot of people feel like that, and when I do my Christmas special, we're going to be focusing heavily on that. It's not about giving; it's not about receiving; it's about giving. So of course we'll discuss that in much more detail in a month, but I mean, I like to. Just dorkish, just dorky, dorkishly happy. You do know what the word dork is, don't you? Slight here. Let me look directly at you. Slight. Do you know what a dork is? If you look it up, a dork is a whale penis. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Corrupting the minds of the youths in your family. That's great. Ooh, starting young. 5 years old. Do I find that the commercialism of the holiday season affects me? No. This is another thing that's slight noticed about me is that I'm fairly well adjusted. Most advertising that crosses my field of vision is ignored completely. let me put that in perspective by telling you about this female friend that I had years and years ago named Crystal. At the time, now we're talking about what, like 2003, 2004. She was my neighbor, and we were decent friends. And she did not have a computer at the time. Had a run of bad luck. Wanted to check her email, so I allowed her to use my computer. She stopped over to my house, and she was sitting there, and I was sitting in a chair not too far away, and I'm watching her go through her email, and then she's clicking on ads on the sides of the web pages. And I'm like, what? What? Why? What could you possibly find interesting about an ad on the side of your email server? Put their, and now this was also before Google became this magnate where they mine data every which way and then try to present you with advertising that suits you personally. So I couldn't even begin to remember what it was about, but I'm just like, why in the world are you even wasting time clicking on ads in your email? Not even actual emails, just like the ad that pops up next to the. And how many people do that? And my dad, who I told that to, he said, well, that's not for you. That's not advertising targeted at you. It's advertising targeted at people that actually find that necessary or interesting or something that they should look at. Well, exactly. But that's the point, is that the ads that appear on the side of the browser, most people are not going to click on those because they realize that it's just advertising and it's kind of worthless. It's like seeing a billboard on the highway or, looking at a 30-second ad on TV while you're waiting for CSI to come back on. But there are people that advertising is targeted at who will click on those ads and then go and, I run a couple of commercials every stream, except I'm not going to do them on the Fireside chats. How about this? How about I say, please do not spend any money whatsoever with any advertiser that Twitch is providing in the 30 seconds or 60 seconds that I'm running the ad so that I can get a little bit of ad money from Twitch. How's that for a recommendation? How's that for admonishment? Do not, absolutely, under any circumstances, go buy from this person here that's about to, give you an ad. That's truth in advertising right there. But yeah, well adjusted, as in, it doesn't phase me so much. Like every once in a while, I'll look at something, or it'll catch my eye and I go, oh, that's cute, or laugh a little bit at some joke that some writer in an ad agency in another city came up with, and yeah, that's nice, that's cute. Sorry, I'm not gonna buy your shit. And it doesn't matter whether it's the newest gadget or holiday getaway, tickets, vacation, some shit the government's selling. I don't care. The only thing that I will occasionally do with advertising, in general, not just holiday advertising, is do a little bit more research on an item. Like, let's say let's say, how do we say that? Yeah, movie trailers. But even then, like I go to IMDb about once every couple of months and actually watch the trailers of the new movies that are available just to see if there's anything coming out that I think I want to see, and maybe I'll put it on my list. Like, I don't catch a trailer on television and go, oh, I gotta see that movie. I'm trying to think of a good example. Oh, here. Perfect example. I drive for Uber. I bought a vehicle 3 years ago in late 2018. In 3 years, I have put 100,000 miles, almost 105,000 miles on that. So I've been driving an average of 35,000 miles a year in my personal vehicle doing Uber. Sometimes on the side, as a addendum to a full-time job, sometimes as the full-time job, as it has been more recently. I'm looking to get a new vehicle for a couple of different reasons. I talked a little bit to Doom about this, and am I going to pay attention to car manufacturer ads or dealers in my area putting ads on the radio or something else? No, not in the least. What I am doing is I'm going back to the people that I have made connections with over the past couple of years to see what, first of all, what is available, and then going and doing my research on those vehicles, seeing if it's exactly what I want to purchase, because first of all, it's a major fucking purchase. And then test drive and everything else that comes with that. What possible relevance does Ford's brand new F-250 whatever thingamabobby or the safety IHHAAQW whatever rating for the new Chevy Cruze or something like that? They pop up these ads all the time for people specifically that those ads are targeted at to go and check out this new and shiny thing. That's exactly what that is. Because those people don't do the research typically. They go in and they go, I like this car, and then they sit down and they go over financing and can I afford it and what are the options that I want and all that. I would never buy a car even remotely based on an ad that a manufacturer or dealer puts out. In particular, used car dealers. I don't know if anybody has anybody in their area that is a used car dealer or just a car dealer in general that plays ads where they shout at you. Come on down to Big Bob's car sales. We got all the deals. I'm crazy. I'm out of my mind. No. That actually makes me never, ever want to visit that dealer for as long as I live. Because the people that they are appealing to with their advertising are not me. It's somebody else that they're targeting. And that type of advertising actually turns me off. 3 years ago when I bought my Honda, I have a 2013 Honda Pilot. Been very happy with it for the most part over the last 3 years. Like I said, 105,000 miles on this vehicle. It started with 118. When I bought it, and it was 5 years old, it had 118,000 miles on it, and I just passed 222. You saw me post on Discord. The the person that sold it to me was a gentleman who I am very happy he was the person that I got to talk to, because he did exactly what I thought an automotive salesperson should do. And that is, he didn't push, he didn't try to guide me to the proper vehicle. You know, he was very calm and patient with me. Because I had a lot of questions. That's actually the first vehicle I've ever owned outright. No, I've owned many vehicles. That's the first vehicle I've ever financed. So it was a process for me and a learning experience. And he was very kind. And that's, I mean, doesn't that underpin everything? Really? That the people that you're involved with and you're dealing with are kind. I mean, me and Doom were talking about that way back on September 11th and a couple of times since then, I think. You know, just how much better the world would be if everybody just practiced a little more kindness. And, you know, that's a nice thought, but I don't know that it's going to happen. And I'm wondering, you know, how many people out there spend this time being so concerned with themselves that those ads work on them. And they don't necessarily mind. Like, see, you know, before I got that vehicle from that particular salesperson who I really loved, and I loved the job he did, I went to another dealer that is more well known in my area. And I'm not going to say who it is, but the treatment that I got there was, in my opinion, very intense and intrusive. And I didn't feel as if my business was really desired. And I mean, you want to talk about salespeople, what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to find the customer what they need, what they want, go over pros and cons with them so that they are fully informed before they, especially with a major purchase, and then ensure that they get the service that they need. That's it. You don't go in there and you try to push things on people that they don't need. And that's why I absolutely, even though I did it for the better part of a year early on in my working life, I despise telemarketers and I despise companies that use telemarketing. I will never, never even do business with a company that uses telemarketing, because, in my opinion, it's just bald evil. Not bald eagle with my winter sinuses causing shit. No, bald evil. So I can prattle on all night if we want, but I don't think that's quite as desired. So let me go back through my my chat here and make sure I didn't miss anything, because I can definitely go off on tangents and start talking about all sorts of different kind of shit. So let's see here. All right, back to Antonio coming in and saying hello. The only other thing I'll talk about with Christmas decorations, like we were talking about that, taking them down after Christmas Day. Christmas to me, at least the season we're talking about, the length of time and when and where. I always thought it would be a fantastic idea because you've got two family based and geared holidays, and they're in close proximity to each other. You've got Thanksgiving, which is always, I think, the last Thursday of November. And it always changes, but I think it's always the last Thursday. And then you've got Christmas, which is always on the 25th, and that's shortly followed by New Year's a week later. It's always a week later. The as Cop was saying, highlighting and what's the word I'm looking for? Bringing to higher illumination the aspects of family and loving kindness and forgiveness and service, bringing those to light and how do I say? Highlighting isn't bad. Highlighting those aspects of these family-based holidays is not only something that's desired, but it's actually something that's easily achieved if you know what you're doing or how you want to accomplish it. So, for instance, your first holiday is Thanksgiving, and you've got a month between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Now, that whole month is typically filled with a lot of things that are kind of the same for a lot of different people. Like, if you're going to celebrate Christmas, you're buying gifts in that time period for the people that you want to buy gifts for, your close family, your friends, whoever. Christmas cards, sending a card to somebody, trying to keep contact with somebody, or maybe just writing a letter. You have this family member or this friend that you've not really spoken to in a while, and maybe you want to write them a letter. What better time? Not to mention work, vacations, all of that stuff coming into play. But the two things, for most families that celebrate those two holidays, the two main things are however you're going to do it, however you're going to get together with your family, or however you're going to choose to do this style of whatever it is that you want to do, is you get together on Thanksgiving. So let's say what you choose to do is get together with your parents. You're married, you've got your parents, maybe her parents, okay, and you got a couple of different places to go. But you get together with your family, right? So wherever you're going to go, okay, you're there for Thanksgiving. Why not have dinner, maybe watch a little football or whatever else is it, take the day and relax. And then once dinner is over, as a family, put up the tree and decorate the house and the tree. Maybe, a couple of people putting up the lights outside if the weather isn't horrible. Or however it is that you want to celebrate, not only Christmas, but maybe, Kwanzaa or, whatever holidays are coming into play for your culture. If the focus is supposed to be on the family, what better way than to focus that desire to be with and do things with your family, than to take that opportunity while you're already there and put together the thing for the next one that's only a month away. at least for Christians or anybody that wants to celebrate both Thanksgiving and Christmas, to me that was a no-brainer. Do it after dinner on Thanksgiving. And there you go. Now the tree is up and it stays up for a month until Christmas. And then after Christmas, that's, when you get ready to take it down, the gifts are all given out. You did whatever you're going to do for the holidays. And then we go into the new year, and now it's back to business as usual, back to your regularly scheduled program. To me, that's a no-brainer. You take the time that you're already with the family to do that, and then that also keeps it in its own time slot too. You know, you're not celebrating Christmas before October, before Halloween. So give it its own due, or you know that to bring it back full circle. Maybe that's the best way to combat commercialism in holidays, is just by deciding when it is that you want to do those things and then putting it into practice to say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be affected by all the corporate bullshit. The businesses that literally the only thing they care about is making more money. So they're going to push it any way they see fit. And how do we allow them to affect us with that message? I mean, I remember talking to friends of mine that were devout Christians and saying that they hated the commercialism that surrounded Christmas. And I'm saying, well, what are you doing about it? Are you letting it affect you? Or are you doing something else? So, what is its meaning to you? And I don't know if that's where that well-adjusted part comes in, but well, don't let it affect you. Choose to make it about what you want it to be about. I mean, that's the whole point of celebrating something, isn't it? You get to make it your own and turn it into something that's special to you. 4th of July has a lot of meaning for me. Not necessarily because I'm political anymore. I used to be. But because of the things that I believe in regarding like how people are supposed to act. And I don't know, I don't celebrate with fireworks or even really getting together with my family, although that kind of, revolves around that. But everybody celebrates it in their own way. Make it your own, and don't let some business that just wants your money tell you how that's supposed to go. And to me, that, I guess, is common sense, but I don't know. So at least I think that like 30 years later, adequately answers the question the cop asked me: do you find that the commercialism of the holiday season affects you? No, I don't think so. Mostly because I do my best to not let it affect me. I got more important fish to fry, and out of the frying pan and into the fire. And fire is the time in which we what is that? Fire. Oh, that's how it goes. They say time is the fire in which we burn. Now, if anybody can tell me where that's from, I'll give you a wooden nickel. They say time is the fire in which we burn. Only some fucking nerd's gonna get that. Well, don't let it overwhelm you. Don't let the commercialism aspect overwhelm you. Set it aside and just ignore it. Don't really spend much. Cop, if you're still here. I don't know if he is. Let me see if he's present. Shows him present. Cop, if you're still here. No, it is not from Blade Runner. You say you said it way up in the chat. I don't really spend much, but it is stressful wanting to get that perfect item for someone special. So if you're still here and you can hear this, why does it have to be an item? Maybe it could be a gift of service. Maybe it could be a gift of time that you're spending with that person. Maybe it could be it could be an item, but not necessarily like something tangible. Maybe it's a poem, or even just a letter, you know, that you want to stay in contact with that person. You don't necessarily have to find the perfect thing, but you do, I think, if that person is important enough to you, you do have to show them in some way that they are that important to you. And it just doesn't have to be something. At least not something tangible. Like, I've seen so many different types of gifts over the years that you might find something that fits the bill that is completely unique, or something that's never been done before, or I don't know. Anyway, I'm just blabbering on here. So, we don't do a whole lot either, but we have done these. Okay. I am not going to click this orgasm. Thank you. Probably not going to get an orgasm from clicking it anyway. Rats. Oh, anyway. Let's see. Oh, anyway. So, if there's no other guesses, time is the fire in which we burn. There's a fire right in the middle of the screen. That must be time, right? Yeah, you probably wouldn't get this one because it is rather, how shall we say, obscure unless you are a fan of Star Trek. And even then, maybe not. It is from Star Trek Generations, which was the 7th movie. Yes? Yeah. 7th movie. Starring both the Next Generation crew and some of the original crew. Captain Kirk and Scotty and Chekhov were in there. And, yeah. And it was said by... his character's name is Dr. Tolian Soren. He's the bad guy in the film. And damned if I can remember his real name, the actor's real name. Can't remember it. But at the beginning of the movie, Captain Picard's nephew and brother... No. Yeah, his nephew and his brother died. Malcolm McDowell, thank you. Died in a fire. And so he's coping with that loss and that grief. And Dr. Soren, played by Malcolm McDowell, comes up to him and he's trying to get his attention. Like, they're talking, and he's literally trying to, like, prod Captain Picard and, make him uncomfortable. So he says that to him because somehow he knows, or maybe it's a great coincidence, but he says that to him. He says, "Time is the fire in which we burn," and it catches Picard off guard, and he's kind of taken aback by it. But that is the commercialized ideal, is it not? What is the commercialized ideal? Buy a lot of shit, spend a lot of money you don't have, go into debt, and why? Anyway. Well, let's see here. I don't know if there's anything else that I would want to cover on that topic. But if anybody else has something they'd like to talk about, feel free. Something that's been weighing on your mind, something you want to get off your chest, something you want to shit out your ass and put it on the table and let's talk about it for a while. Phased him with words. Yeah. Ooh, Casual Myrrh with the raid. Welcome. Hello, good sir. What has possessed you to possibly come in here? Mr. Wrong, Mr. Right, Mr. Fabulous, Mr. Fantastic. Hello. Welcome. How are y'all? Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate you. What were you playing here? Let's do this proper here. Let's do the... Where the hell is my shit here? On the keyboard. Something like that. Hey! Go follow https://twitch.tv/casualmurr. Your life depends on it. What were you playing? See, I haven't figured that part of the commands out yet, where you insert the thingamabobber that the guy was playing, or the girl was playing on their channel last. Something like that. Yeah. Well, you're certainly welcome here, sir. I appreciate you. But, yeah, we're just chilling, having some fun. You get to look at this scraggly onion field here. And, we got this new setup. And so maybe you can visit. We're going to have a tour soon. Joel is going to put together a video tour so you all can see the setup if you're not actually going to be able to stop by at some point. Poke your mom. All right, good. Yeah. So we've got a 3-monitor setup. Only 2 of the 3 monitors are working at the moment. We had to get some adapters and shit to make it work. But this is the main screen right in front of me. We got the camera right in the middle of the three screens. Then down to the left, which it looks like the right now, is the main desktop monitor, and then on the right will be an additional monitor for whatever we need. But me looking up at my main monitor here where I've got OBS running and my chat over to the right side here, okay, it looks like I'm always looking up above the camera, which I am, but you know, it doesn't present very well. I that's really what I got to get in the habit of doing, is just staring right into the camera with my beady little eyes and scaring the shit out of everybody. Oh, not the onion fields. That's a Lewis Black joke too, isn't it? He's going to visit his daughter in Oxnard, but not Oxnard by the beach. Oxnard in the onion fields. I love Lewis Black. He's great. That's a pretty old bit though too. It's been some time since I've seen it. Anyway, welcome again, all you lovely people, Mr. Wrong and Casual Murr, and I think Doom was in there somewhere too. Maybe he's double dipping again. I have serious problems with being on one stream, more than one stream at any given time, because that's easy on a PC, but most of the time I'm watching people on my phone. Or I did find, I've got Roku for my TV, and I did find an unofficial app on somewhere. It's called Twoku. Twoku. It's supposed to be like somebody's vision of watching Twitch on Roku, because Roku doesn't like Twitch or Amazon or some bullshit like that. I don't know. And there's no official channel for Twitch on Roku like there is on Amazon Fire Stick or Google Play Thingamabob or whatever that is. So, but it doesn't work very well. That's why it's unofficial. It's like the white trailer trash of Twitch apps. Not great. Occasionally it works. If I'm watching Legion Cage on it, it just completely shuts down and takes a shit and mails it to Doom. The shit, not the Twitch. It's like a Legion Cage log of turd and peanuts and tinfoil, aluminum tinfoil. And it's wrapped real nice. It's got a bow, and then they send it to Doom, and he's just like, "Oh, another turd from Cage. Hey, thanks. I'll put this up on my mantle. Yeah, that's how it works. What the fuck are you people still doing here? I'm not even making any sense to myself. So what the hell are you doing? Anyway, yeah, it's December 1st. The weather, I'll tell you what, the weather's been real shitty here. We had a good 3 days. Thanks, Mr. Wrong. I really appreciate that, Yeah. How else? I could use a good jockstrap, or maybe a, bra. I mean, I've got the boobs of like a sick cow here. A nice supportive bra would be good, I think. Anyway, Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, the gift exchange. I wasn't in that. Mostly because I don't know. Gift exchange with people I don't really know is not a thing. That and I don't send a lot of gifts at Christmas. Maybe a couple. Like my good friend that's down in North Carolina, and that's not Maleggio. uh, he's a good friend, but he's not that good friend. And the that's one of the few people I will actually send a gift to. I mostly don't do that. Like, yeah, I'm more the person to randomly send things throughout the year. Like, now that I have Doom's address for other purposes, I'm probably going to be sending him some random shit along the line, and he's going to wonder why he ever did that. Um, yeah. Yeah, and I understand that, you know. Especially, you know, if you're Wiccan, the that's not that's not going to appeal to you at all because it's completely different. But you never know. I mean, I like I said it in an earlier stream. I was raised Jehovah's Witness. I'm not a witness anymore, and I'm not really religious. Period anymore. Part of the thing that appeals to me about Christmas is some of the media that surrounds it, and like I said, some of the psychology with the friends and the family and that sort of thing. Like my ideal Christmas is, well, if I have the fortitude for it, and I can expound on that in a minute, but if I have the fortitude for it, I'd like to at least do, you know, maybe an hour or two of community service. But the fortitude aspect is I don't necessarily want to deal with the public anymore. So maybe I can do something like that this year. I don't know. I got to think about it. I got to see what my options are. If there's something I can do. But you know, we never celebrated Christmas when I was growing up. The family gets together, and I might go see the rest of the family like that. You were alone. Well, I mean, you never know. There's always possibilities, potentialities, and the like with what could happen this year. You never know. Yeah, you thought you were alone. He might have just been like standing over your bed, staring at you bug-eyed. You know, you thought you were alone, but nope. Nope, nope, nope. Merry Christmas from Doom. Yeah. Doom's just gonna break into your house, and while you're sleeping, he's gonna stand at the foot of your bed and just like, uh, uh, I'm Doom. Uh. He was streaming while you were wrapping gifts for Dante. The that's the great thing about lurking. I think is you can have as little, or as much presence as you like. There's times when There's times when we were just discussing this, I think on Doomstream the other night here, with young Benjamin. The times when you don't want to do a single goddamn thing with Twitch whatsoever. It doesn't matter who's on. And then the times where you just want to, you know, put a tab on, watch that person for a while, but not say anything. Tattle. There you go. And then, of course, full on chat. And, I often thought that a lot of. Oh, excuse me, I'm getting some heartburn. I often thought that a lot of the streamers that I watch think that I only pop in to say a few words and then I bail. And unless you go and actually like check who's actually in the chat room, you don't know. Like, I mean, I can go on here and see, okay, who's actually here, who's got the tab open, and who's been quiet for a while, who's talking, and all that other stuff. But the I found after a while my mode of operandus, or mode of operandi, or however you say that, is I typically come in, especially when I get a notification for certain people, and I say, hello, how you doing, good to see you, and then I shut up for like 3 hours. Even though I'm still there. And it's like, I wonder if they know I'm still here. Because what'll often happen is I then get busy with something, and either I'm still there or I do shut it off and I go away. Like Isnib. I'm almost always getting ready for work when Isnib is streaming. He starts streaming at noon, my time. And, excuse me. He starts his stream, and I get the notification pop up, and I jump in there and I say, hey, what's happening? And I, spout some random bullshit and give him a hard time for being alive, and then usually drop off because either I go to work or whatever's happening. But there, those times when I'm just lurking in the background, or I say hi and then lurk, yeah. I don't necessarily, even though I know that's nothing really I can do about that unless I'm more active, like, saying that I'm lurking, or I gotta go now, I gotta go to work or whatever. I don't necessarily want, like, people to think that I'm abandoning them, but it happens. And with Doom, because of the time that he's usually streaming, I mean, Mondays are early for you, basically. Like, you do a 9:30 on a Monday, and the rest of the time it's usually like 11:30, midnight that you're starting. Which I'm trying to fall asleep at that point because of my schedule, and I usually turn on the fantastical streams of Angle Doom and fall asleep promptly. But yeah. You're not home before you stream on Mondays? Oh. What time do you get back from work usually? The toys know everything. You know what that reminds me, Joho? I want to look up something right now to share with you. because it's one of my favorite things ever about Pixar. Hopefully moving that mic didn't sound too bad. Let's see here. Not till 6 or 7. There it is. Let me set this up real quick here. Now that you've said that, even though it's almost completely unrelated to everything we've been talking about, Joe, that brought to mind a scene from Toy Story 1 that is one of my absolute favorites. Like, I used to rewind the video to watch this thing back in the 90s. So let me see if I can bring this up here. Let's do let's do this. Oops. Yeah, that thingamabobber. Here, let me change it over to that. There we go. And, how do we want to do this here? Is it Alt? Yeah, let's start that. Nope. Bye. Okay. Let's do a thingamabobber like this. And a thingamabobber like this. We'll bring it in like an episode of Scribble.io, and one of these, and one of these. Okay, that's good. I think that's good. So now let's do let's get rid of this thingamabobber. And then I'm gonna get rid of that thingamabobber. Okay, there we go. Absolute favorite scene from Toy Story 1. I will watch this thing over and over again because of the music. And I might get DMCA'd here, but that's fine. I will take it off.
Buzz Lightyear responding. Read you loud and clear.
Buzz Lightyear, planet Earth needs your help.
On the way.
Buzz Lightyear, the world's greatest superhero, now the world's greatest toy. Buzz has it all. Locking wrist communicator.
Calling Buzz Lightyear.
Karate chop action.
Wow.
Pulsating laser light.
Total annihilation.
Multi-phase voice simulator.
In the secret mission in uncharted space. In the secret mission in uncharted
And
space.
best of all, high pressure space wings.
To infinity and beyond.
Not a flying toy.
Get your Buzz Lightyear action figure and save a galaxy near you. Buzz Lightyear.
Available at all Al's Toy Found outlets in the Tri-County area.
This song right here.
Out among the stars I sail, way beyond the moon. In my silver ship I sail, a dream it ended too soon. Now I know exactly who I am and what I'm here for.
You are a toy you can't fly.
It would help if I remember that shit, huh? What? Huh? Here, let me play something here for you, Joe.
You're a jackass.
Anyway, yeah. Not only a great movie, but as much flack as Randy Newman gets for various things, fantastic music in that. Absolutely fantastic. But yeah. I don't know. Maybe we'll spend some time looking at stuff like that. The generic memories, or not generic, that's not the word I'm looking for. The treasured memories of days gone by. You know, these are the things that we did in yesteryear. I don't know. Well, I'll definitely check. I am fairly certain that that part would at least be muted by Twitch, so we'll see. But, yeah. I may just take the whole VOD down and do something different. I can tell you guys this. The Patreon I'm putting together, the lowest level of the Patreon is going to give you access to the my entire video on demand catalog, because I've kept almost everything from the beginning. There's a few things at the beginning when I was not understanding how Twitch worked that I lost, but quite a bit. I'd say since roughly June, I've kept everything, and figured out the recording function on OBS, and all of that stuff. So we got a good 6 months here worth of content that's going to be immediately available on the Patreon in December. There's certain people that will have early access to that, which means maybe by the end of next week I will be contacting them, because it will be mostly set up by that point. I still got a lot of work to do. Trying to find the means with which to do that was not necessarily easy the way I wanted to do it, but we'll see. Patreon does not have great hosting capabilities when it comes to video. They have a few, like they want you to do everything through Vimeo, I think. Either Vimeo or what's that other one? I can't remember. But Daily Motion. It's one of those two. Patreon will direct you, like if you want to upload video, they direct you to Vimeo or Daily Motion. And I wasn't happy with either one of those, or YouTube, basically, for what I wanted to accomplish. Funky Bunch Show rating. Hello, welcome, how you doing? Good to see you, Funky. He's so funky. He's so funky. Rah, rah, rah. Hello. So glad you could make it. Did you see your way through the snowstorm to get here? Did you have any troubles with broken down vehicles or icy roads or anything like that on your way into the Enigma Blockbuster Cinema Theater? Hopefully the parking wasn't an issue. We try to maintain a nice property. Doesn't always happen, I'll tell you that right now. Especially the one in Minecraft. that I haven't really been able to get much further on because there's always these freaking cows and pigs and sheep, and there's a guy that shows up with 2 llamas every so often. Like, I'll just be doing something, building something in my virtual theater on Minecraft, and I go into the other, like, right in the middle of the fucking theater is this guy that shows up with 2 llamas. And I'm like, dude, you didn't even buy a ticket. Anyway. Yeah, I know, right? Must be a precious commodity, llama spit. So, we've been going for a while here. Hour and 46 minutes. So, ooh, at 30 frames per second, I only dropped 1.6% of frames today. As opposed to the other night when I was running at 60 frames per second and it dropped like 7%. It was nasty. It was the worst. Yeah. So not too bad. We're trying to get an upgrade on the internet in Joel's new space here pretty soon. Just to be able to handle that sort of thing. But we'll see. Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate you. You know, it's the folks that have come in to sit and listen to me ramble that make it great. Because without you, I'd just be sitting here rambling to myself and probably talk myself into a coma or something, So, I mean, really, for something like this, it's one thing if I'm putting on a show and I've got all these different elements, videos and sounds and, this other stuff that comes into play because, I obviously don't play games a lot. Sometimes I do, but not in the fashion that you folks do most of the time. And, so I can set it up and I can do all my elements with the videos that I want to show and the things that are prearranged and stuff like that. But for something like this, where it's just me and a fake fire and some crackly noises that might as well be my knuckles, you might have heard this in the last stream because I did it with the mic on and I didn't realize it. I periodically crack my knuckles. It's a nervous habit. Oh, yeah. That feels good. I'll also sometimes crack my neck. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that. Maybe one of these days I'll snap my spine and put myself out of my misery. So, okay. I'll tell you what then. We will hang on for another 10 minutes and then we will raid the Joho. Unless somebody else has a suggestion, but I mean, we will wait. We will be patient. We will not throw unharmonious fits of rage at the length of time that it takes for Joe to get his ass in gear and start his stream. We might throw spinach. We might throw soccer balls, giant soccer balls, and cars. We might throw cheese. I'm not going to throw the salami, though, and I'd prefer not to throw the cheese. Those are staples on my diet. But, yeah. Let's see, what else can we throw at Joe? Can we potentially... Oh, I know. Cage probably has some body parts, some spare body parts in the morgue. We could throw, at least a couple of fingers. Maybe a toe or two. Earlobe. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're providing the salami, Cage, yeah, we'll throw your salami at Joe. No. No, 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 no. Meats and cheeses are staples on the keto diet. Yeah. I've been doing really good. At least as far as like maintaining and staying consistent in the diet. There's been times that I haven't been doing so well, periodically, but at least as far as trying to stay consistent and stay on the diet, I've been doing fairly well. Cheat days are one thing you may hear me mention periodically, or somebody else that knows about it. And cheat days really don't come into play unless I've been on very strict diet for a while. And what that has to do with is the amount of carbohydrates consumed in a single day, because I'm not going to go into the details on keto, but basically you can only have so many. So on a strict keto diet, you typically want less than 20 or 25 grams of carbohydrates in a day. The last 6 months, I've been doing at least 100 or less, typically 50 or less. So that isn't necessarily enough to be in strict ketosis, the actual part of the diet that makes it work, where you lose weight, but low enough carbs to at least maintain my weight level, if not continue to slowly go down. So I've been doing good with it. Usually the thing that gets me to quit is stress. Like depression, a bunch of shit going down that just stresses me the fuck out, and then I'm like, fuck it, I'm getting French fries on the way home. But, yeah. That and packing my own lunches, that helps. Like, I mean, I can go to a restaurant and I can usually find something that works with the diet. It just depends. Like, I went to Burger King on my way to my brother's after working today, and I got a small little side salad and 2 Whoppers, but I didn't eat the bread. So as far as carb count goes, I'm probably, pretty decent, like 40 to 50 grams for the day. So it wasn't too bad. No ketchup, no bun. You can pretty much eat. And then, of course, there's other concerns with like processed meats and quality ingredients and things like that. But yeah, I never took it so seriously. Like half the time I'm eating hot dogs because they work. You know, that's the important part, making it work for you. If you're not familiar with any of this stuff I'm gibbering about, in when was it? When was it? I think it was. When was it? I think it was in early 2018. Yeah, that had to be it. Yes. So it was in early 2018. I was so depressed from the summer of 2016 until early 2018. So a year and a half, I was so depressed that I was literally going and getting fast food on my way home for dinner every night. And I didn't give a shit. And I was not even attempting to eat healthy. I mean, we're talking about $15 plus every night of fast food just for me. And I got up to 506 pounds was my heaviest weight. So at the beginning of 2018, I'd been talking all along with a friend of mine at the time who was, giving me information and some other things, she agreed to let me pay her to put me basically on the keto diet. And that was, because I didn't have the wherewithal to even fucking go to the store to buy food. And even if I did, going in the store was actually painful. Like walking for any amount of time, aside from just from the house to my car, was painful. Like, I'm talking severe pain in my legs and my back because I weighed 500 pounds. And so we decided to try the keto diet after a lot of different research. And there's a couple of different reasons why I went with that. And in the first 3 months of being on strict keto diet, I lost 55 pounds. In the next year and a quarter or so we're a little over a year, I lost an additional 60 pounds. I think I lost 110 pounds total. I got down to, let me do the math. I got down to 389. So what is that? 117 pounds in about a year and a half I lost. And then COVID hit, and the way that people in the world responded to COVID and the way the government responded to it, and all the governments of the world, also depressed me severely. And I went right back to that same old thing, which was, I don't care. I'm just, eating whatever the fuck I want. And now this time I didn't get nearly as bad. I think I got back up to 470. So I didn't gain back everything I lost. And I didn't get above that. But, same old shit. The pain came back. Loss of mobility, basically. Because, well, again, I don't want to get too deep into what keto is and why it works, but very difficult to move around. Can't go in the store. Can't walk around long distances. Can't even hold a job in which I'm standing all day because I just be in too severe of pain. And even to this day, I mean, I'm back on the diet now, and for the most part, roughly speaking, but I still have issues with mobility and pain. It's much better than it was because that's part of what keto does to you. If you're at least on a low carb diet, is it makes it so that a lot of the pain goes away, and it's easier to work with the weight that I still do have. So like right now I'm hovering around 435. And the loss that I have been having has been very slow. So I went from 470 back down again to 35 pounds or so. So 435 I've been hovering around and getting back into the swing of things, so to speak. But yeah, it how do I want to say this? I've never really been concerned about my weight so much, but I definitely want to feel better. So that's a big part of it. Like, I mean, carbs are comfort food for a lot of people, not only myself, because carbohydrates can be addictive just like cigarettes or alcohol or drugs or anything else. And every time, psychologically, I trained myself. Every time I got depressed, and I don't feel like I want to be invested in being a good person. That's what I go to, is carbs. That's my escape, so to speak. So Funky says, "Hey, I hear ya. I did the same thing when the pandemic hit. Instead of focusing on using that time instead to work out and cook for myself more, I just went to get fast food all the time and only recently started focusing on getting healthier with a meal prep service." I have looked in on some of that. In fact, there was some things that I had researched because I live in Cleveland, Ohio. There was a meal service that does offer keto meals. But the problem is the meal service, you're often paying for a lot of convenience there that doesn't necessarily need to be used. Like, I mean, they're okay. They're not bad. I took a look at quite a few of them. And it just so happened with my luck that I was able to contract my friend at the time and say, yes, it can get expensive, to contract my friend and use her service to not only cook the meals, but to go to the store, buy the products, bring it home, prep, cook, and then I would go and pick it up from her and pay her. And if she hadn't done that, I'd probably be dead by now of a heart attack or something, because there was no way that I was going to handle those responsibilities myself. Now, for the most part, I do. And I take care of it all on myself. But at the time, no, I didn't have the wherewithal. I didn't have the desire, the ability to handle that responsibility. So if it wasn't for her, it wouldn't have happened. That and it's never easy cooking for one person. Well, it's not easy cooking for one person on keto. It's even worse when you don't want to go to the store to buy anything, because every time you go into the store, you get shooting pains up your legs and your back, and you get home and you've got cramps in your muscles and everything, and just going to the store once. One other thing is Walmart pickup has been, even though I don't believe in God, a godsend. It has been one of the most wonderful things. Not so much, although that was a part of it in the past, of going in the store, because I can go in the store no problem now. But then in came the other aspect of it, which was dealing with the people, dealing with the other customers and with the employees, and sometimes crowds. Like, I'm not agoraphobic at all, but I don't like being around large crowds. Not really. I can deal with it. I'd prefer not to, especially in this time in my life. Like at the Torg. Torg, first of all, was not that busy compared to some other conventions and things I've been to. But I was sitting behind a table, and that time and time again in my life, I've been able to do something like that. Put a barrier between myself and the other people. When I was DJing, I would have my DJ table facing a wall, and I'd be between the table and the wall, so there was only literally one access point where people could come and talk to me. And, all sorts of things like that. I usually find some way to have a good barrier between me and other people. But, yeah, a lot of people don't like crowds. So Walmart pickup has, and the other stores that now provide it, that we have a Meijer store in our area that provides it. Walmart, Aldi does have it, but it's kind of expensive to use their pickup service. And I I'm trying to think. But COVID changed a lot of things in that regard. Like, I mean, there's a lot of stores that if you ask them, they'll maybe bring it out to your car or do something. But to be able to have groceries like that, where I can just pull into the lot, sit there, they bring it out to my car, they've done all the shopping. I don't care that they made this mistake with that item or didn't get this particular right thing or there's a bruise on the banana. I don't care. It's all worth not having to park, walk into the store, walk all the way back to the grocery section that I need this thing in the very back of the store, all the way back up, do this and that, deal with the crowds, deal with the people, deal with the cashiers and the bagging and all that, come out, put it in my car. No. All that's handled. And Walmart, as long as the order's $35, it's free. Beautiful. Thank you. Walmart sucks for almost everything else, but pickup, absolutely fantastic. I love it. So that's definitely helped. Things like that. But you never know what kind of effect things like that have on people either. And how we could even, make that go full circle back to holiday commercialism. I mean, how many times have you heard stories about, like, people camping out for 2 days outside of Best Buy to get the newest thing? Or there's how many people have actually been killed on Black Friday at Walmart because of crowd trampling or getting in a physical fight over items or something like that. You want to talk about the negative effects of commercialism? Right there. And yet, none of the companies seem to give a shit about that, do they? Soldraic is on. I don't know if you were there last night, Doom. I popped into Soldraic's stream, and he's like, "You're one of Doom's people, right?" I'm like, yeah, I'm a Doom groupie. Fucking Etsy. Man. Alright, so let's see. Is Joe on yet? Joe is on. Alright. So, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you all for coming. Let's do some coming attractions real quick. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Final episode of 2021 for the Arcade Nostalgia Memories podcast is going to be this Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I misspelled his name. There's no space between Rageful and Riot, but Rageful Riot OG is the gamer we will be interviewing that night, me and Cage. Cage and I... EBKC. The game he is presenting, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. So we've been seeing a lot of that recently, and not only Joel played it, and he's going to probably continue playing it on some of the streams he has coming up. I don't know if he'll actually complete the game, but I believe he's going to be back next week, and he might continue with Ocarina of Time. I've been seeing a few other people play it. Isnib was playing it, and trying to think who else. I could have sworn I saw somebody else. I know Sky tried it and rage quit because he just can't do Zelda. He can do Dark Souls. He's the Lord of Darkness, but yeah, Zelda, nope, no problem. He'll rage quit every time. Anyway, so yeah, this Sunday, Rageful Riot OG presenting the Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and then and that's earlier time, 5 p.m. Then we're gonna do this again. Try to do it again. The Amazing Mr. X. It's our first film noir public domain movie night number 6. That's this coming Monday on December 6th. So, that's pretty much it. I do have one more thing. That is Cages and Steph Babies doing their Soul Link Challenge that begins on Friday, December 10th, early, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. for those people on the West Coast. You got to get up frickin' early to see this one, man. Yeah. Anyway, that starts, what is that, a week from this Friday? Yeah, week from this Friday. And that will be on Cage's channel, twitch.tv/Legion Cage. So go check that out. And that's pretty much it. So let's go raid the Joho. Get your emotes out in chat so you can shove them up Joho's ass. Let's see. Raid the Joe is a hoe. There we go. Ta-da. All right. And thank you all for coming. See y'all later. Good night. Adios. Sweet dreams. Hope you don't die in your sleep. That might be a bad thing. And, yeah. Goodbye.